Hi, I'm Katherine, and today I want to share with you the fundamental discovery I made in my psychoanalysis journey that did a full 180 in my life, and of course show you the process of creating my new painting. Our story, as always, begins in our childhood. And the two main things we need to understand about childish behavior are the survival instinct is dominant, there is no personal boundaries. Childish behavior is guided by the survival instinct and not by our own impulses or meaningful decisions. From the first seconds of our life, the survival instinct scans everything what happens around us. This dude wants to ensure complete safety and satisfy all needs that you have, from food to love and unconditional acceptance. So, as a child, you have parents who want you to be a good boy or a good girl. They own resources that you desperately need, and you will change your behavior according to their requirements, because it will guarantee you meeting your needs and survival. Then you have your school teachers and peers and first love and a lot of other people who actually don't play any significant role in your life, but you're still trying to become that good, right, and perfect person for them, to captivate resources you believe they have. But the problem is in our second moment. A child doesn't have personal boundaries. Before he was born, he was in a womb, and there he literally felt like a god. But now he learns what discomfort is when his needs aren't met instantly. There are other people in his world, and satisfaction of his needs depends on them. The survival instinct strives to create perfect conditions for you. That's why, since your birth, in your mind were recorded hundreds and thousands of rules, standards, and instructions. So it's okay to be scared of other people's opinion, even if you don't have them in your life for a long time already. In a certain second of your life, this information was extremely important for your survival instinct. And all these requirements of how you should look and act will always be in your brain. It's your past and you can't change anything about it. You will always have these thoughts like, I could be better here, I'm not enough, and so on. Even if you achieve enlightenment, I promise you, these thoughts will appear, because it's impossible to follow all those rules you came up with for yourself during your life. There is no logic in them. Moreover, they may contradict each other. For example, to learn how to record a YouTube video, you need to do a lot of mistakes to understand how it actually works. But it was humiliating to make a mistake in your math test. And now, your survival instinct won't allow you to be not as perfect, because it was unsafe in your past. In other words, your survival instinct monitors your self-identification and doesn't allow you to go in situations where your position in society can decrease. But as you can see from the example, following rules, requirements, idea of perfect you has nothing in common with your current life, self-realization, and happiness. Every rule was created by other people who didn't and couldn't take into account your individuality, because this responsibility is yours. I think you've noticed that those people who were expected to behave perfectly in childhood, for example, study only for A's at school, feel incredibly lost after graduation. That happens because they aren't used to take that responsibility for themselves. It happened with me as well. and not taking it leads to loss of contact with yourself and as a result to depression. The phenomenon self-improvement was turned into another list of rules we must follow without considering our individual traits and circumstances. It was come up with by other people and again has nothing in common with your happiness. I would replace it with the revelation of individuality because I personally found my happiness in it. It means that you already have your individuality and your life is the time period you can use to get to know yourself. This process doesn't involve wasting your time following someone else's rules, pretending, and playing roles. Okay, but how can I identify my individuality? Because nobody has taught us to take this responsibility. I think we all sometimes have thoughts like, I don't know who I am. It's accompanied by feelings of deep emptiness and I would say clear, strong pain. But that doesn't mean that you are incomplete. You are more than complete, believe me. It just means that you don't want to call things that are actually yours. It happens again because of your survival instinct. You don't want to associate yourself with an evil person when you're angry or with a cruel person when you want to say something hurtful to your loved one, or with a failure when you are scared to admit that you don't know something. Whatever it is, your survival instinct won't let you do something that will again humiliate you in the eyes of society because potentially it's unsafe and leads to death. I want to offer you a technique that I came up with by myself. It will help you not to just understand who you are and where your personal boundaries are, but deeply feel it. It's based on the fact that you can have emotions only about things that personally relate to you. When you perceive reality as a child and don't have personal boundaries, it seems like the whole world relates to you. All people on the street think about you and evaluate you. Cloudy weather wants to spoil your mood. Your ex thinks only about you, and so on and so on. It's pure egocentrism, and it's okay for every human being. It's our nature. We want the whole world to be kind to us, because then it will become absolutely safe to live in. But actually, every person is an independent system that thinks only about itself. Even if your ex thinks about you, he thinks more about himself or the way you treat him. Nobody sincerely cares about you, as well as you don't care about anyone, because taking care of itself is the main function of human mind. It makes no sense for human brain to take care about someone else. So there is only one person in the whole world who can sincerely take care about you, and it's you. And I want you to imagine that everything you see around right now and everything you've ever seen had only black and white colors. Like the world was always just a moving black and white picture that never related to you or touched you. Now, if the world doesn't have any colors, everything what is left, everything what you feel, you can call yours. And hey, you just discovered yourself. And for me, it feels like I took a pair of scissors and cut off the branches of my nervous system from the world. I would call it the second, but actually the real birth. To be honest, in the beginning it was such a hard pill to swallow because it's just so overwhelming. It requires me to admit that all fears, pressure, cruel. Everything I've ever felt was mine, but since then I've never felt so worthless again. This technique helps me to understand that I'm not that white and tiny bunny who suffers in this cruel and huge world. Actually, I'm such a huge bundle of energy filled with tons of emotions, feelings, associations, and creative ideas. I am the source of happiness, gratitude, inspiration, and the source of creation, and at the same time the source of cruelty, violence, greed, envy, anger, and destruction. So if I'm lying on my bed, depressed and full of pain and worthlessness, I know that it's me who at the same time creates this huge and cruel pressure on myself. If sometimes I can't concentrate my attention because of strong anxiety, I know that I'm the one who scares me so much. I take my full responsibility for everything what happens inside of me. So if you feel incomplete, I hope the technique I gave you will help you to find and put together all pieces that you don't want to be yours, because they are your energy and potential. Remember that you are not an angel, but a human. Controversial, but versatile and interesting human being. So you're not only the one who can take care about you, but also the one who can sincerely humiliate and hate you as no one else. Never be scared to admit something you found in yourself. If you have it, then other humans have the same. I promise you, we all are built from the same cubes. They just have different sizes and are placed in different order. I please you to never throw away your cubes or close your eyes on some of them, because the castle that is built from these cubes is your own individuality and the key for your happiness. So grateful for time and attention you gave me. I hope this video helped you a little bit on your way to yourself. See you soon. Bye.